President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan dropped on Saturday yet another bombshell in his incessant fight against parallel structure, his term to refer to the Gülen movement inspired by Turkish Islamic scholar Fethullah Gülen, declaring this time that the movement is cooperating with Israel's intelligence agency Mossad. In a speech dedicated almost entirely to his cause against parallel structure in Istanbul, Erdoğan addressed honest people at the base of the parallel structure, meaning the followers of the movement, and warned there could be no excuse for them to remain under this roof. Honest people at the base of the parallel structure should please see whom this structure is in cooperation with, he said. Shame on them if they still don't see that this structure works in cooperation with Mossad, he said, without elaborating on his claim. He said those who fail to join the fight are doing injustice to their country, conscience, and religion. Erdoğan has launched a war against the Gülen movement, or Hizmet, after a scandalous corruption investigation targeting people in his inner circle that became public with a wave of detentions on December 17, 2013. Erdoğan blamed police officials, judges, and prosecutors he claimed are linked with Gülen movement for the investigation, which he branded as a coup attempt. The investigation stalled when the prosecutors overseeing the case were removed and thousands of police officials, judges, and prosecutors were reassigned or removed as part of his fight against the parallel structure since then. He has already alleged that the movement is a pawn of foreign imperial powers and of an obscure greater mind plotting to undermine Turkey, but Saturday's remarks marked the first time he alleged links with the Israeli intelligence. Gülen, based in the U.S., denies any link with the corruption probe. The war against Gülen movement comes amid a rollback of reforms that alarmed both domestic critics and international rights groups. In its annual Freedoms Report released last week, US-based watchdog Freedom House has stated that Turkey has drifted further from democratic reforms, with former Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdoğan rising to the presidency and overseeing government attempts to quash corruption cases against his allies and associates, as well as with greater interference in the media and judiciary. The European Union, which Turkey aspires to join, has criticized the government handling of the corruption probe and called for transparency in addressing the graft claims. On former Mossad chairman, "Who are you?" Erdoğan did not hide his frustration with those reluctant to join the fight against the parallel structure, especially targeting the former head of Turkey's largest business group, the Turkish Industrialists and Businessmen's Association, TSAD, who has said recently that he does not see a parallel structure. He does see it very well, but it does not serve his interests to say so, Erdoğan said of Haluk Dinsar, who handed over the top TSAD job to Cansan Bazaran Sims on January 22. He then speculated that perhaps he is being blackmailed by a montage tape, again without elaborating. Erdoğan also revealed his fury over Dinsar's past remarks that he sees the Prime Minister as an interlocutor, not the President. Who are you anyway? This nation sees this humble man as its interlocutor. Who cares if you don't, said Erdoğan, receiving a standing ovation from the audience, composed of members of the smaller business group TSAD.